Welcome to our presentation. We appreciate your attention. So today we are presenting Abiel, Gerardo, Santos, Hernández, and Esteban, Zarate, Mejía, reducing foreign language anxiety through socioaffective strategies when university students perform monologues. The key words of this presentation are foreign language anxiety, speaking, self-confidence, socioaffective strategies, and monologues. The general overview of this presentation is as the first of all introduction, then we are going to discuss some aspects of literature review. After that, we are going to mention the methodology adopted for developing this research project, then the findings, the conclusion, and also we are going to emphasize some limitations and how they were surpassed, the teaching contribution, and we are going to show finally some references used in this project.
To begin with, we are going to talk about the background of this action research. So basically, it was an English Basic 300 English group that belongs to a language center of the Universidad Veracruzana. English lessons were taught 4 days per week. It also has to do with, well, students at this point has taken lessons from three semesters. They are in a A2 level according to the Common European Framework references because they have had 200 hours of English instruction. Okay, so this action research takes place because students felt or students had negative feelings toward oral activities because they felt anxious, nervous, stressed, and insecure. Also, students only present these negative feelings only with speaking activities that were individual oral participation, presentations, role plays, and monologues. So in order to avoid personal assumptions, so it was written a teacher diary that take place for 5 weeks. And after analyze this teacher diary, it came with the research question that it was, how can they use socioaffective strategies help English Basic 300 students to reduce foreign language anxiety when performing monologic tasks? And we also have the 3 different sub-questions that were, which element foster foreign language anxiety when English students perform oral activities? The next sub-question was, which socioaffective strategies are used by English students when performing oral activities? And finally, how confident are students when performing monologues? So the main objective of this action research is to reduce foreign language anxiety levels in English Basic students when speaking by using socioaffective strategies. And the specific objectives are: know which element foster the foreign language anxiety in speaking activities, and also know which socioaffective strategies the students know and practice in the English classes.
Some aspects of the literature should be mentioned. First of all, the emotions, the affect and emotions have a crucial role in language classrooms, according to Williams and Borden. There have several studies that have affirmed that students who have positive attitudes and positive feelings are the ones who are going to perform better in an English classroom. Additionally, learning a foreign language successfully implies high levels of motivation and low levels of anxiety. Therefore, where a student is less worried, he is going to perform better. So, in this way, more motivation equals to best performance. And learning strategies. Remember that in this case, Hedge mentions that successful in language learning is most of the time for the well use of language learning strategies. What does it imply? Definitely that students who apply the most strategies in the proper way, they are going to succeed in this case in speaking. However, it is really necessary to remember Oxford definition of strategies. Strategies are specific actions, behaviors, steps, or techniques taken by the learner consciously, they are used consciously, which embraces both the behavioral and mental steps. And specifically with the socioaffective strategies, they are concerned with meaning, emotions, both negative and positive. So the key terms with socioaffective strategies are emotions, attitudes, beliefs, and motivation. So in this case, socioaffective strategies are going to activate supportive emotions, beliefs, and attitudes. Also, they are going to generate and maintain motivation. Therefore, they are going to minimize negative emotion. And finally, socioaffective strategies will build a positive attitude in students. The methodology that was applied for this action research project was an action research. So an action research is related to the ideas of reflective practice. In this case, we as teachers are going to improve our teaching practice. Then we are going to focus on a specific issue that we need to explore. And then we are going to observe objectively and analyze what is happening in the classroom, and also if learning is occurring and in what way learning is occurring. Therefore, we are going to intervene in a deliberate way in the problematic solution in order to make a positive change, in this case, for helping students to reduce their levels of anxiety. Here, Chemis and McCarthy 1998 model shows the methodology of action research. In this case, there is one cycle. We are going to start by planning the intervention. Then we are going to act on that intervention. We are going to observe how was the results, and then we reflect on that results in order to make a second cycle, and the process is repeated. The purpose of repeating that process is in order to systematize all the practices and the results in order to see to what extent the change was done. And then, continuing with the methodology, the data collection methods applied were online questionnaires. It was a quantitative site in this case. There were applied 26 questions in that questionnaire. Additionally, it was applied some semi-structured interviews. We need to remember that Cohen 2018 says that the interviews enable participants, interviewers, and interviewees to discuss their interpretations of the world. That's really meaningful for us as teachers to have all participants' self-expressions and reflections. Also, they were asked students to write their own diaries. That's why the third instrument for gathering data was students' diaries.
And now we are going to present some of the findings that we got from our previous data collection methods. So here on the online questionnaire, we got 3 different categories that are foreign language anxiety, situational anxiety, and triad anxiety. So basically, foreign language anxiety has to do with feelings that are tensions, apprehensions, nervousness, negative emotions. Situational anxiety deals with the intensity and duration over the time, but we have to pay attention because this situational anxiety occurs under certain circumstances or events. Finally, we had trait anxiety, that is an emotional state that individuals experience frequently or intensively. This anxiety has to do also with the individual's personality. So this individual's personality has a strong impact on this kind of anxiety. And here are some of the findings. We have here in the graph number one statement of our previous online questionnaire. And as you can see, 50% of our population answers were agree, and the other 50% of the population were totally agree. So our students present this kind of foreign language anxiety. Then we have the graph number 2 that has to do with situational anxiety. So we have here like a balance, because 50% of our students answered that they were disagree with this statement. 60% were, 16% were neutral, 16 were agree, and the other 16 were totally agree. Finally, we have this graph number 3 that has to do with the last anxiety, that was trait anxiety. 66% of our population answered that they were disagree, and 33% were neutral. So there is like a balance between the previous anxieties with these ones. So now we are going to present some of the results of the semi-structured interview. So 6 students were interviewed for identifying their different reasons about the foreign language anxiety. And with this data collection method, we got 3 different categories. That the number 1 was oral participation in the English class. The second one was topic selection, and finally self-confidence. So oral participation in the English class, the findings suggest that students have enough time to speak and express themselves in different situations during all the English class. And here are some of the answers that students give us in the semi-structured interview, because they have a lot of time, not only with the oral activities that the book and the teacher provide. So because these English lessons were taken by Zoom, and there are the mini classroom or the breakout rooms that appear there, and we create different sessions when they were able to share their ideas with their peers in different kinds of the different steps of the English class. So related with the topic selection category, these are some of the answers of the students. So the findings suggest that the students have also the control of the topic selection that they are going to present in the English class. So we got here 3 different answers of 3 different students, and as you can see, all of them told us that there was a decision group of the topic that is going to be used in the final activity. And now we are going to present some of the findings about the self-confidence. So we also got 3 different answers of students, and they have a relationship, because they also said that they feel like a progress during all these workshop, and with the use of socioaffective strategies, they reduce foreign language anxiety, but they also have different aspects in language English that they need to develop, but they didn't feel much anxious with the use of foreign language anxiety. And here also in this session of the findings of the students' diaries are presented. So a student's journal emerged two different categories. The number one category is positive aspect of my classmates, and the second category is how I feel in the English class. So related with the positive aspect of my classmate, that it was the first category of the student diary, they need to share or to write down what they think about their peers. For example, here is student 1 wrote this about the student 2, that as you can see, there are like really good comments about the participation, about how dedicated is the students, how polite is their peer. And also, as you can see in the student 3, about the student 6 written, is that they are not more afraid to participate in the English class. And also this last student have a good attitude in order to learn English. Also, they do all the homeworks, and the students can see the effort that the other do. So these are some of some aspects of the student's diary that we take in order to develop this action research. And now, continue with the findings. We are going to present the second category of the student diary, that is how I feel in the English class. So student 4 answered that he was really happy because in the previous English lessons, this person do not feel like in this class. He can joke, he can feel relaxed, because this was a good atmosphere in the English class with the teacher and also with the peers. And student 1 also said that at the beginning he was kind of nervous, he was kind of anxious, but when the develop of the workshop and the develop of the English classes, he used to feel more secure, more relaxed. He also feel a good classroom atmosphere. So as you can see, socioaffective strategies were taking place in this point. So here are some of the conclusions that we can make. So that are socioaffective strategies are helpful to develop oral skills. Changes can be seen after 2 weeks of implementation socioaffective strategies. Also, these socioaffective strategies create a good classroom atmosphere. At the same time, they create a learning community inside the classroom. Action research can develop teaching skills, and it makes the teacher reflect about their teaching skills in order to make an impact and in order to make a change in their students and also in the teaching practice. And finally, we also did a look for the literature review in order to see if there were another kind of action research project that assessed this problematic, but there wasn't. So there is no research on Mexican context which assess the use of socioaffective strategies and monologues to diminish foreign language anxiety in university students of a public language center institutions. So this can be like a light in this field in order to reducing this foreign language anxiety. And here are some of our references that we use in order to create this action research. Thank you.